What is up, YouTube? I am Gal874 here, bringing you a very special video today. We are bringing you the finals of the ABC. This is the third ever finals appearance we are making in draft format, and this time is in the ABC. Spoilers, we have lost 2 so far, so hopefully we don't go 0-3. This time around, we are facing off against Shaquaza, coach of the Dallas Starmies. We ended off the regular season with a 5-4 record, while Shaquaza ended off the season with a 9-0 record. Now, before I get into the video, there are a few things I want to mention. First, there are going to be timestamps on screen. If not, they were on screen, because this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, and I want to put a few extra things in the video so you can track everything along with the timestamp. So if you don't really care for the team builder, you can just skip to the battle or whatever and all that nonsense. But that's one thing. Secondly, make sure to go check out Shay in the description below. His content is absolutely one of my favorites in the entire Pokemon community. He has me laughing at least once every single video, and he's just a great guy. Please go check him out in the description below. He will be uploading this finals game as well. I'm not sure if it's going to go up the same day as I upload this, because this should go up on Tuesday, depending on college and stuff. But it's going to be around that time, so I'm not sure. He will upload it though. I know he will. So please go make sure to check him out. And lastly, can we just include the fact that he is 11-0, including playoffs? This man is just 11-0. He has not lost with this team, and I'm just like, it's such a hard game. Like, we're 7-4 with playoffs, but it's going to be a hard game. That's basically how I just want to mention that. But we did face him before. We faced him week 6 of the ABC, and we did lose by only 1. But he did save his Magearna in that game very well, because I was going for like a Cryogonal endgame, and it just couldn't work because I couldn't chip down the Magearna because he preserved it. That's how we lost the first game. And again, to reiterate, last time we were relying on Cryogonal to win when have Charizard break Magearna. This time around, it's going to be completely different. I have a lot of options in this battle, as I'll break down a little bit later when I break down my team. But that is sort of the recap of our last battle. But that's kind of it. Anyway, I'm going to go show you his team. So Shay's team this week consists of Magearna, Zygarde 50, Zeraora, Greninja, Hitmonlee, Gligar, Mega Banette, Smeargle, Vileplume, Rapidash, Frogadier, and Froakie, with the Z crystals being the Groundium Z and the Fightinium Z. The Groundium Z, he chose Zygarde's a really good user of that. Greninja Greninja could use like Z-Dig, I think, but that's kind of it. And he's got the Vitinium Z, which Zeraora is a really good user of. Greninja could use that as well, and even Hitmonlee to an extent, though I would think would run on Burden set on that thing. But that is his team. What I expect him to bring consists of Magearna, Zygarde, Zeraora, Greninja, Gligar, and Mega Banette. He could drop the Zeraora for the Hitmonlee, but outside of that, I'm sort of expecting 6 of the 7 of his top mons to come. I don't see like Smeargle coming, because Smeargle did come last time, but I don't think he'll pull the same trick twice, even though I am prepped for it. Vileplume has an awful matchup against my offense. Rapidash wouldn't be terrible, but like I have a Mudsdale, which basically just switches in on it every time, as well as Rotom Wash. It kind of just deals with it. And then Frogadier and Froakie are just there. So that's kind of what I expect him to bring. His 25-pointer is a Magearna. My 25-pointer is a Tapu Lele. Magearna beats Tapu Lele, so that really sucks in that regard. Magearna to me is like Mew, but kind of better at what it does. It's just a little bit slow. Well, it's a lot slower, so it's a little bit harder to use. I don't really like Mew in draft too much, even though I know it's pretty good. I just use it wrong. But Magearna is really good mon. It's going to be very scary for my team. Greninja was a bitch last time going up against it. I'm going to be honest, switching in on that was just insanely hard. This time it's not going to be that big of a problem because I have a certain prep for it, as you guys will see a little bit later. Gligar was also annoying last time, and it actually is really annoying this time around still because it beats my walls pretty badly. So I do have a good way to beat this Gligar, and in fact take advantage of it throughout the game, or hopefully at least, but that requires a few extra steps, so that might be a little bit harder. But that is basically the rundown of his team, except for Magearna though. Tapu Lele runs through this team. Granted, a lot of things are faster than Tapu Lele, especially if he brings like Psychic Seed Hitmonlee, which he actually did bring last time. But outside of that, switching into Tapu Lele is like impossible for him, except for Magearna. Yeah, it's not going to clean because things are faster and can revenge it, but if I can just break through his team somewhat with Lele, that would be pretty cool. But that is going to be the breakdown of Shay's team. The team I am rocking out with for our finals game against Shay is going to be Tapu Lele, Dhelmise, Cobalion, Audino, Mudsdale, and Mega Charizard X. So as I just mentioned, as always, the first one we are bringing on the team this week is going to be Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele is rocking out with 224 attack, max speed, timid nature, and 32 in defense with the leftovers, moves being Psychic, Moonblast, Nature's Madness, and Substitute. Yes, we are going to try and speed type that Zygarde because I don't think he's going to run max speed. He did last time. I don't think he will this time. I think he'll be a little more generous with the speed creeping because, you know, Shay's a good player. He could probably speed creep something a little bit slower, like, I don't know, Rotom Wash or something like that. I'm not sure what my speed tiers are off the top of my head. But, again, as I mentioned, except for Magearna, his switch-ins to the combination of Psychic and Moonblast do not exist. So if I plan to use this Tapu Lele relatively early game, that'll either A, force out the Magearna, or B, dent a hole in something in his team. So that's kind of what Tapu Lele is meant to do. It's meant to kind of draw out and bait out the Magearna early so I can at least get some chip on it, so late game it's not that big of a threat. Or, again, just break through his team. I did want to bring Choice Specs Lele because I do have this kind of, like, hunch that Magearna could be a little more offensive because he's brought, like, defensive Magearna every time, like, a big threat comes against him that Magearna is, like, resistant to. So he's been doing that most of the time. I feel like he might change it up and go offensive, but I don't want to risk that because if he is defensive like AV, then Choice Specs Lele just kind of just sucks. But while the substitute gives me a little bit more options because, you know, Greninja's is dark type. He can still switch into Psychic if he wants to go that route, but that is going to be the main purpose of Tapu Lele. Kind of play early game, trying to get some chip damage around his team. I have Nature's Madness for that Magearna. That's why I'm not Specs in the end. So that is going to be the Tapu Lele set. Our second mon on the team is going to be Delmise. Delmise is rocking out with max HP, max defense, relaxed nature, with a Cobra Berry, moves being Bulldoze, Gyro Ball, Rapid Spin, and Synthesis. Last time I brought Anchor Shot and Earthquake. Bulldoze is a little bit better, so it prevents that Zygarde from like boosting its speed, so I could Revenge Kill it. And if I don't want to go the other route, I want to go the opposite way, I can go Gyro Ball, because like, yeah, Bulldoze and Gyro Ball sort of counteract each other, but as long as I don't use those two moves on the same mon, it sort of helps me out a bit. That's why I decided to go this route in the end. Gyro Ball was also there for like, Shift Gear Magearna, that was it. If I think it's like a weakness policy set, which is something I really fear, weakness policy Magearna and weakness policy Zygarde scare the crap out of me. So there's that. This also switches into Zeraora quite easily. This switches into Hitmonlee. I mean, switching to these two mons. I don't think he'll bring both, but you know that's how it is. It deals with Smeargle. If Smeargle does decide to come, like last time, I'll just lead off with Delmise if Smeargle ends up coming. And again, Zygarde. It prevents Zygarde from like, being a huge setup threat. Yes, I can't really beat Zygarde one-on-one, but at least I can prevent it from setting up too much. That is going to be the Delmise set. And spin rocks away if he wants to put up rocks, because Charizard is pretty important to this team. That is Delmise. Our third mon on the team this week is going to be our Cobalion. This is going to be our win con of the week. This is going to run max attack, a naughty nature, 196 speed with 48 in HP, and a 12 in special attack. Moves being Rock Polish, Iron Head, Close Combat, Hidden Power, Ice. I say win con a little bit lightly, even though I just put a lot of emphasis on it. This is the way I want to win, is with Cobalion, in on like a Gligar late game, and then I can Rock Polish on it as he, like, you know, he clicks Earthquake, Weakness Policy procs, and then this just goes ham on his team. It's kind of insane. The only exceptions is Vileplume of all things, but I don't see Vileplume's not coming, let's be real. Magearna needs a little bit of chip if it's defensive on it, and then priority from Greninja. This is the unique thing about this set. A non-attack Gligar does like 44 to 52 to Cobalion, right? And then a Life Orb Water Shuriken, which is I'm expecting that to be, depending on the rolls, if it's 3 hits, I think it's like a roll in my favor. If he gets 4 or 5, then I just die, but outside of that, this Cobalion just runs house on his team. This is the way I want it to win. I gotta be careful. If I just send out Cobalion like Gligar, that's sus as hell, and I don't think he'll just click Earthquake Roll, because why would I send out a Cobalion on a Gligar without any reason to? So that I have to be careful about that sense of it. But I can also take like a Close Combat from Zeraora and do the same thing on that too. So I definitely have a little more options outside of the Earthquake Gligar, but that's kind of the main thing I want to set up on. But even without a boost, it still hits relatively hard as a good cleaner. Like, it's faster than Hitmonlee. The speed is for Hitmonlee after an Unburden boost. I still outspeed it, so that's what that was there for. It's again, HP Ice is really good for Zygarde. This outspeeds, not max speed Zygarde, but like a lot of speed Zygarde. Iron Head's good against Magearna. Close Combat still is a decent like 40-ish to 50%. So that's always nice. And then, yeah, that's kind of the Cobalion set. I really want this thing to work. It's kind of like do or die set, and I just hope it works. And our fourth mon is going to be one of the most interesting mons on the entire team. We have Audino. John Jr. is coming for the second time, technically, this season. Even though I brought it in a meme match only, I have not brought Audino seriously to a single match. I have considered it for a few, but it has not made the cut. Audino is rocking out with the Assault Vest, max HP, 108 Spit Attack, 68 defense, and 84 in Spidef with a Calm Nature. Moves being Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, a Flamethrower, and D-Gleam. I have D-Gleam over T-Bolt because it hits both the Zygarde, Hitmonlee, and Greninja. That's why I decided to rock out with that over Thunderbolt. This investment's kind of whack. This investment, I can guarantee live a plus 3,000 arrows from full from a Zygarde if I accidentally proc a weakness policy. That's why I did that. 108 is attack for like some damage rolls. Like this is guaranteed 2-ko on Gligar, I think. with Ice Beam, and then the rest in Spadef because this is meant to switch into Greninja, which is the main reason this is here. Greninja was a bitch last time, as I said earlier, and this thing switches in for days against it. If it's Life Orb, Choice Specs Hydro Pump's a little scary, but outside of that, it's not that big of a deal. He won't run, big props to Shay. I just get dicked there, but this year just do chip, and I can switch out and get regenerator health, and it's just going to be a real nuisance for his team because this still kind of walls. I don't want to say walls Magearna, but as long as it's not a Calm Mind Magearna, then Flamethrower can slowly chip down that Magearna to the point where I'm not really too scared of it. But it's mainly here just switching into the Greninja. That is Autono's job. I hope it puts in work. It's supposed to be like a dark horse pick for this certain team. But speaking of horses, we're going on to our second horse of the team. We have Mudsdale. Mudsdale's rocking out with max HP, 120 defense, 120 speed def with a relaxed nature, holding the leftovers, moves being Rocks, Earthquake, Toxic Roar. Is this walled like Gligar? Absolutely. Is that investment pretty diverse? Yes. Is it meant for anything? Nope. This investment is just 50-50. I just wanted something to take a hit from Magearna, something to take a hit from like Hitmonlee and his physical attackers like Zeraora, because Zeraora could have Grass Knot. That's a little bit scary. But this meant to get up rocks and just wall a few things. I walls the Rapidash pretty well too. Walls Zygarde to an extent. I could roar that thing out. And Mega Banette, because my switch into Mega Banette wasn't that great. Yes, Autono can come in and take a huge hit, but like I don't want to get my Assault Vest knocked off and like Greninja have free leeway late game. So this is my main switch into the Mega Banette, because that thing is a little bit scary. That thing hits really hard. But that's kind of it for Mudsdale. It's sort of just not much to it. But that's Mudsdale. And then our final mono of the week, we have our Mega. We have Mega Charizard X. 236 speed, but 236 attack, 232 speed with a Jolly Nature, and 14 HP. Moves being Swords Dance, Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, and Flame Charge. This is meant to set up a Swords Dance on a switch from like Magearna or something like that, and a Gligar is most likely going to be the switch in. Flare Blitz is a 70 to 80% of that thing. That is just nuts, and then I'll just nuke it, and then maybe get a Flame Charge after, and with whatever health I have left, if the Psychic Surge is up and Priority can't kill me, then I just claim another kill. This is just mainly just a breakthrough Gligar, to be honest. And even though it's good late game, and like obviously if I have it from Magearna, it's going to do wonders for me, but I'm not going to be too stressed about it if Charizard goes down and Magearna's still alive, because I have the Cobalion, I have the Mudsdale, the Autono tanks a few hits. It's not as scary as I thought it was going to be like it was last game, so that's kind of the gist. I can also tank a hit from a few of his physical attackers, like Zeraora I could set up on. Hitmonlee, as long as it's not like banded or boosted or anything. So yeah, that is going to be the Charizard set, and that is going to be the team. Yes, this team builder is really long, but this is a finals game, and I want to give you guys as much information as possible. I did originally have Cryogonal on this team as opposed to the Cobalion, but I felt like going the Cobalion route would have been a little bit better. But that is going to be the team builder. We're going to head over to the Pokemon Showdown, and we're going to watch this finals game. Alright, we are here on Pokemon Showdown. I don't really usually record hard off of OBS because it's on a downstairs computer, and then because my laptop sucks and it's just a whole bunch of mess because there's usually people talking at my house. But everyone's asleep, so I don't really have to worry about that. And I wanted to pause it a few extra times. I don't usually like to do that, but since it is a finals game, I do want to explain my thoughts on some plays, and that's why I'm going to do it. Plus, it's my second time recording because the audio didn't work the first time. Pretty lit. But anyway, to look at the matchup, there's no Zygarde on your screen, but there is 3 horses as compared to 2 horses. There's a Cobalion, a Mudsdale, and he did bring the Rapidash, which did caught me off guard a lot. But everything else I was sort of like expecting. But that is his team. I did say in the team builder, I did want to lead off with Tapu Lele and try and get as much damage as possible. So that is what I'm going to do, as he does lead off with the Zeraora, as I'm going to lead off with Lele. I decided Lele is pretty important to the team, so I don't want to risk a banded Plasma Fist knocking me out turn 1. So I'm going to go out into Delmise, as he makes a smart play and goes for the knockoff. I do have a Colbur Berry and eat that quite fine. But this tells me that this Zeraora is actually pretty bulky, because that is not there's not much attack investment there whatsoever, if any. I go for Bulldoze. I don't really mind if Gligar comes out. It's not that big of a deal early game, as I can go out into the Lele, make an aggressive play. I was thinking he's going to go for Rocks or U-turn, but he goes for Toxic, so I mean, that was a good play, as I can just fire off a Nature's Madness, because some damage on anything is really nice. As Zeraora is going to come out, and Zeraora is going to take this Nature's Madness, so that's pretty nice. I get some really nice chip on this Zeraora, because Zeraora does not get reliable recovery. And I'm going to click Psychic this next turn, as this Zeraora goes for knockoff. He does crit me, which is a little bit annoying, but I do live the hit. I go for Psychic, and the Zeraora lives. It tells me that Zeraora is very bulky. It's got Assault Vest, I learned after the game. I did get a high roll there, so I apologize for that. I'm going to go back out on the Delmise, because I think Tapu Lele could still have one more hit in it, as he does make the smart play and goes for Volt Switch, probably expecting that. And Gligar comes out. I am going to click Synthesis. I'm just going to have to bite the Toxic here, which I don't really mind, because Delmise isn't really meant to just stay in and stall against teams, as he does get up his Rocks. But this allows me to take on Hitmonlee much better later. I go into Lele, making another aggressive play, thinking he'll go for Toxic, as he does go for Toxic. So that's pretty nice. I do get one more free hit off now on his team. And if he wants the Roost Dog, at least I get some chip, because he'll do more than half. As I click Psychic, and Gligar gets crit. I crit his Gligar, turn 9 into the game, and Lele is going to go down here, so it is a 5-5 game. He's got Rocks up on the side of the field. That sucks because Psychic was not going to kill Gligar in any stretch of the imagination. I apologize to Shay so much. This really changed my mindset throughout the game because Cobalion was meant to set up the weakness policy on the Gligar, and now that Zygarde didn't come, and knowing the Zeraora is relatively bulkier and probably doesn't even have a fighting move, I'm going to have a really hard time setting that up because I don't want to take a Flutter Blitz from Rapidash. I'm sure a CC from Hitmonlee just nukes me. So at this point in my battle, because of that crit, I decide I can get this Rapid Spin off with Dhelmise because Gligar's gone now. I don't have to worry about rocks once I can spin away. Charizard in this late game is looking very good already. So at this point in the battle, basically, I changed my late game from Cobalion to Charizard. So that's going to play a role in this battle as Lele again goes down. Lele did its job. It got Zeraora down to 3% and Gligar dead. Meltzel comes out because it's pretty good against the rest of his team. Zeraora comes out. I feel like Zeraora is going to have Grass Knot, so I'm going to go out into Cobalion. Again, health doesn't really matter now. As luckily, I do predict that, and Grass Knot comes out. Still does 21%, which is pretty respectable. And now I go for Iron Head as he does save the Volt Switch. He does save the Zeraora, so that's a really smart play because he can preserve that as a sack. He goes out into the Rapidash, and this was a really bad play for me because I should have CC'd because everything on his team didn't appreciate it. And Cobalion is going to go down, and you're going to see 15% from the recoil. That tells me that if I went for CC, CC does 83 to like 98% with his spread, so recoil would have most likely knocked him out afterwards. So that was just a poor play on my part. He did have high horsepower on this thing, so I mean he could have just went for that instead. But still, it's unfortunate, but it's my own fault. I made a little small misplay there. But anyway, I get to go out into Mudsdale now for free and fire off an Earthquake. I could go for Rocks, but I feel like Earthquake's a little bit better just in case Zeraora comes back out, as he is just going to sack off the Zeraora. So it is 4-4 now. He still has Rocks up on the side of the field as I don't, but it's whatever. And now he's going to send out the, what does he send out? I forget. He sends out the Greninja. But luckily, unlike last game where this thing was really annoying to switch into, Auto Noda switches into this pretty freely. It's not that big of a deal, as he's just going to fire off a Surf. It does 29%, a little more than I would like, but he is Life Orb, so it's good to know. I click Dazzling Gleam because just to get some damage on this Greninja, as Hitmonlee actually comes out and takes this hit. It's pretty good. I wanted chip on this Hitmonlee, and there it is. So I still have Dhelmise in the back. It's mainly here just for this Hitmonlee at this point. So but he does predict this. He goes for Blaze Kick, so that was a really smart play on Shay's part. He's going to switch out into the Rapidash as I'm just going to fire off a Rapid Spin, so now Charizard looks better late game. And at this point, seeing that rocks are gone, Charizard can beat Hitmonlee offensively, so I don't mind stacking off my Dhelmise here, as he does overpredict and go for Toxic, probably expecting Mudsdale to come out. So basically, I do kill the Rapidash with the Dhelmise, and this is the big turn of the game, because there's a Magearna on your screen right now, and Magearna can do many different things. I'm thinking because he didn't bring out the Magearna earlier on the top of Lele to tank the hit, I'm thinking this thing is going to be more offensive. It was a hunch in my team build, but I wasn't thinking like it's definitely like a most definite thing. Like he could easily bring like bulky, like at max HP, a lot of speed def leftovers Magearna like he did last time. He could do that, just change up the moveset or whatever. But at this point, I'm thinking I could go for Bulldoze. I don't really need Dhelmise anymore. If I go for Bulldoze and he's Weakness Policy, because Weakness Policy scares the crap out of me, I just lose the game. So I'm thinking he might want to set up on this Dhelmise. I'm going to go for Gyro Ball, because if he does go for Shift Gear, that'll at least punish it, and it'll do a lot of damage to it. So that's what I decided to do, and if he just attacks me, he attacks me. As you're going to see here, Magearna goes for Ice Beam, so he just kills me. That is probably one of the best case scenarios, as now I can go in the Charizard and just fire off a free Flare Blitz, because nothing wants to switch in at this point. As unless this is like a Wax Sash set, it's like Mega Evolve, he stays in, and he's Aqua Berry Magearna, and that is really good prep on my opponent's part, as that really caught me off guard. He is going to Shift Gear up now, he is faster, and he is able to knock out my Charizard, and that really sucks. But that was really good prep on Shay. I applaud you for that prep. But now I have to go into Audino and tank the Floor Cannon. If he's got Focus Blast, I'll straight up lose. But he does go for Floor Cannon, doesn't do too much, and because this thing is more offensive, Flamethrower should be able to knock it out, as it does knock out the Magearna. So that is really nice. And at this point, it's not really looking great, but he does go on the Hitmonlee, which is fine, because I can go out on the Mudsdale and get my regen back, as he makes a double out into Greninja. I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. It's basically the same scenario. As I can go back out into Audino, I get Leftovers Recovery too, which is even great. I go back on Audino with this regen health, as he's going to fire off a Toxic Spike. So I sort of see what he's trying to do here. As I'm going to fire off a D-Gleam, Hitmonlee comes in, he can tank the hit. As I do crit this Hitmonlee for 51%, but it doesn't really matter too much. I go out in the Mudsdale, excuse me. I don't know why the Toxic Spike's not appearing on my screen, but Close Combat is going to do 46%, so it is not banded, thank God, because if it was banded, then it would have been basically over here. But I see here now, this is a big turn because I'm thinking in my mind, he's probably going to go out into Greninja, tank the Earthquake. I could go out into Audino, and he could just like simply either double back out and Hitmonlee or just attack me and sack the Greninja, because if I let this Mudsdale take any more hit, any more chip from this poison, Close Combat has a very high chance of knocking me out. So I'm thinking his best play is to go back out into Greninja. If he stays in and clicks CC, as I'm going to switch into Audino, then that's just GG. It's very well played. But I'm thinking, Shay's smart. He's going to go out into Greninja. He's going to try and do it that way. So I'm actually going to double out into Audino, as he does switch out into Greninja. And I do get this play right. I don't mind getting Toxic on this Audino. It's not really a big deal. And Hitmonlee cannot switch back into a D-Gleam. That's why I don't think the crit matters, because even without the crit, I don't think he would be able to switch in. As I'm going to fire off a D-Gleam on this Greninja and do a lot of damage to it, 37%. And he does have one way out. He does have Dark Pulse on this Greninja. He is going to go for it on the next turn. And if he flinches me, we lose the game. So does he flinch the Audino after the Life Orb damage? He does not. And we are able to pick up the KO on this Greninja. And it's just going to come down to this Hitmonlee at this point, because this Hitmonlee can knock out my Audino this turn. And with the percentage my Mudsdale is at, Hitmonlee has a 6.3% chance to knock out my Mudsdale with Close Combat. If it's Adamant, max. If it's anything else, then I live the hit guaranteed. So, do we win this game? Are we able to pull it out? Are we able to survive this roll?
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
The world will never know, because we get crit on the final turn of the game. And we are going to lose 1-0 to Shay in a very close battle. GG to Shay. We are now back to better mic quality, and listen, guys, I know, it sucks. I know, I could be depressed about it all I want, but I'm not going to sit here and just bitch about it for the next 20 minutes. I'm just simply not going to do it because A, it's Pokemon, that's how the game is, that's how it works. B, I've seen enough bitching about hacks in my draft career, which has been pretty lengthy now, and I just don't want to be the culprit of it. I don't want to be the one doing it. C, despite making some really good plays, Shay also still played really well, and he made some good plays on his own, and he deserved the championship as much as I do, so I don't want to take that away from him just because of hacks or whatever. And D, I crit his Gligar early in the game, which really impacted his side of the battle, and plus I crit his Hitmonlee week 6, and that Hitmonlee clearly remembered and wanted its revenge on me and got it. So that is basically going to be it. That's how it is. Congratulations, Shay, for winning Season 3 of the ABC and the Slacking Division. You really deserve it. Make sure everyone watching this video go check out his link in the description below. I highly recommend go checking out his content. I love his content, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I watch most of his videos at this point, and I'm really excited to see his side of the battle, so make sure to go check that out. That's basically going to conclude our ABC. That is going to conclude our ABC run, and I am going to throw up the season stats in a few seconds, but if you guys don't really care for it, it's sort of the end of the actual battle portion itself. So if you guys are clicking off now, thank you guys for watching so much. But without further ado, I'm going to go over my season stats real quick, and then I'll end off the video. Basically how I break down the season stats after every draft league. I just throw up the stats on the screen. I don't read them off because A, you guys can read, and B, that would take too long, and I just kind of give a general rundown of what I liked and disliked about the team. This season was only 9 weeks long, and we picked up at least 2 forfeit wins, and then we had a meme game, and then these stats don't count for the regular season, so there's that. So I wouldn't really have a full grasp on all these mons, but I have a pretty good grasp on most of them, so there's that. One of my favorite Pokemon to use on this team easily is also the kill leader on the team is Delmise. Delmise, I didn't bring an offensive one, and I kind of wish I did, but whatever. I always knew Anchor Shot and Spirit Jackal were very underappreciated moves, but I didn't think it would do that much work because Anchor Shot Delmise put in so much work defensively this season. It was absolutely insane. And his bulk is it's pretty good, but it's not a hard wall usually, but it ended up being a hard wall, and it worked out really well. Dalmise was really good, and 131 attack, even if it is unboosted, it just hits really hard still. So Dalmise was a really cool Pokemon to use, and another one I really liked using a lot was Cobalion. Cobalion went 5-0 in the regular season, and every time I brought it, it just was great. It's great, and even in prep, it was really fun. A lot of times I just couldn't fit it on the team, but even then, it was still a really good and fun mon to use. I kind of wish I had drafted the Fightinium Z in the end, even though it's still Cobalion's the only mon that could have used it, because Steelium Z, at least Delmise could have used it. I didn't end up using it, but I could have. But if Titanium Z would have worked out a little bit better, or just having Cobalion as the Z captain as opposed to Z Crystals, but that's how each league works. And again, 5-0, Cobalion definitely put in the work. And one more one I did end up appreciating was Rotom-Wash a lot. Rotom-Wash, even though I didn't bring it week 1 and the first few weeks I wasn't really feeling it, I started using it in its role like a defensive pivot, like it's supposed to be used, and it actually worked out a lot better than I was using it originally. And another mon that applies to is Tapu Lele. Even though Tapu Lele only went 4-4 with 5 games, I feel like I was using it wrong up until like playoffs. I feel like in playoffs I used Tapu Lele very well, or at least in prep, in theory, I used it very well. But during the regular season, I used it like okay to Tapu Lele, but I did feel like I didn't use it to its full effect, and that's on me as a trainer. So I might draft Tapu Lele in the future. I don't know. I mean, with Sword and Shield coming out, I might not even be in the game, but we'll see about that. Mega Charizard X I liked a lot. I did, but you guys know, if you guys watched the channel for a while, I used Mega Charizard Y before, and I love that thing so much. I have came to the conclusion I do like Zard Y over Zard X. I'm not saying Zard Y is better. I'm just saying I enjoy using Zard Y more. Now that I've had pretty good experience in Draft League with both mons, I could say that. But Charizard X still put in some nice work. 8 kills is nothing to sneeze at with 6 games. That's pretty cool. A few other mons that were pretty cool in the team, like Mudsdale was nice. You guys know Hippowdon's my favorite draft mon of all time, so Mudsdale's kind of like a low-budget Hippowdon, so that's why I didn't enjoy it as much. But Mudsdale it was still cool. It clutched up in some games. Cryogonal did really nice. It kind of sucked at some points because it was set up bait on some teams while other teams to put in some work. So Cryogonal didn't really disappoint me too much for a low-tier ice type, but like it didn't like exceed anything. Swellow, I didn't really bring too much. It sucks the one game it had a really shining light on. I had to get a 4-foot win on, so that was kind of unfortunate. And the rest of the month, I didn't really use too much. Autono in the finals game, that actually put in a lot of work. As you guys just saw, I really thought Autono did a really good job in the game at doing its role. So maybe I'll try and mess around with Autono in the future. Maybe Mega Autono, I don't know. But that is basically going to be the breakdown of the season. Again, thank you guys for watching so much. If you guys have been watching my entire ABC run, thank you guys so much. I cannot thank you guys enough. I really appreciate all the support. ABC is basically done. We have 8 p.m. still going up for the next few decent amount of weeks. I'm going to start doing top 10 soon of my draft league career because Sword and Shield is coming out. And obviously when Sword and Shield comes out, I'll be doing a lot more draft content with that. But until then, I basically just have the 8 p.m. And I do have a BFO tournament, which I might either stream or upload. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but that'll be on the channel or somewhere, or it'll be somewhere along with my content. But that is going to be it. One more time, congratulations to Shay for being the ABC Slacking Division Season 3 champion, and thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.